Okay. So activity certificate service is a certificate services. It's provide certificate. It supports authentications. It's kind of like, we can say extra layer of authentication, extra layer of authentications. So we know that this person name is Bob, but Bob will have some certificate. So Bob will have a certificate. So who provide the certificate? Certificate is provided by the
Yeah.
certificate authority servers. So why we are using this one? For example, in our company, we may have one of the application servers, right? This is application server. So these servers may be some accounting applications or some other sort of applications is running in these servers. So we can set up our certificate servers in this way that if anybody or if any of your user want to access the application servers in your company, they must have to have a certificate. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the main reason of having certificate services. So certificate services will work internal to the organizations.
Yeah.
For example, this is our company. This is our company. Our company name is domain name, right? This is our domain, maybe ABC, um, ABC Limited or something. So that's the company. So this company, whoever is working, if they want to access these applications, they need to have a certificate. That is the main reason. So in these chapters, we're going to learn how to create the certificate, how to work with certificate. So these sort of things we're going to look at more details, right?
Yeah.
So these chapters we're going to talk about activity certificate services, public key infrastructures overview, deploying certificate authority servers, deploying and managing certificate templates, how certificate can be distributed and revocations, managing certificate recovery. So certificate services is not like core services. It's not like absolutely you have to have, is not like that. It's kind of like a optional. Some company they have the certificate services, some company they don't. But if your company want to have a much more uh, sophisticated authentications certificate services, during that time these certificate services can help you. So Active Directory certificate services role allows a computer running Windows Server 2016 to function as a certificate servers. So that means Windows servers we can configure as a certificate servers. For example, one of the virtual machines we can create, that virtual machines need to be part of our domain, and then we can implement the certificate services over there.
Yeah.
Cool. And there are a few different ways we can configure. We're going to look at the configurations. When we install Active Directory certificate service role, we can choose between deploying an enterprise root, enterprise subordinate, standalone root, or standalone subordinate CA. They are the different way you can configure, but we're going to look at the configurations, how to do that. Let me check my virtual machines. Yeah, I think both of them is running. Let me log into that. server is coming up.
Yep.
So this is one of the servers, and this servers we have a domain controller. Server name is DC4,
Yep.
and these servers we have configured Active Directory domain services. So if I go to tools, I can see Active Directory users and computers. I'll open that one. This is our Active Directory domain services, right?
Yep.
And we can see there's a one client in here. We may have some users, sales. So it has one user one. Cool. But today we're going to look at Active Directory certificate services. So I'll close this one. I don't need this one. So first thing I have to do, I have to install the Active Directory certificate services role. So I'll go to manage add roles and features. I'll click next, next, next. First one is Active Directory certificate services. I tick that one.
Yep.
Add features. Click next, next, next. And certificate services, it has many other um, sub features, but I'm going to work with certifications authority servers.
Yep.
Click next and install. And I need to check while it is installing. I'm going to check my Ethernet connection. See, it's not connected, so I need to do something about that. So minimize this one. I'll go back to my Hyper-V machines. I'll right click settings and to see like what's going on with that connectivity. So if I click on external, it's connected. Click OK. But I'm going to check my virtual switch manager. In this virtual switch manager, I can see my external NIC card. This looks like it's connected. I don't know whether this is the right one or not. Click OK. Pending change may disturb network activity. Say yes. See whether this works or not. This one is just like we have the virtual switch. I have multiple NIC card in my computers, so I'm changing the NIC card and see whether it's connected with the right NIC or not. It may work or it may not work. I'm just trying and see whether it's connecting or not. This is not mandatory for our certificate services, but let's go. Yeah, I think should be fine. Yes, this is my services. Still is not connected. I think it's connected here. That's fine. Okay. Now I think our certificate services get installed or not yet. I'm clicking again. It's not done yet. Almost done. So once it's done, installation is done. After that, we're going to configure the Active Directory certificate services. Okay, it's done. After that, there's a two different way you can do the post configurations. One is configure Active Directory certificate services on the destination server, or like you can go to yellow triangle and you can do from there. So if I click on, is the same thing. I close here. I go to yellow triangle and say configure Active Directory certificate services. Okay, I'll click here and we click next. I'm selecting certificate authority. I'm doing the post configurations now. I'll go next, next. If you go previous, this is the root certificate. So first certificate servers always has to be root
Root.
certificate authority servers. After that, second one, if you configure, then maybe you need to select that one. But at this stage, this is fine. Click next. Create new private key. Yes, we're going to create the private key. And this is automatically Microsoft servers will pick up some algorithm like SHA-256. This is the cryptographic algorithm for certificate services. We don't need to make any changes in here, just leave it default and click next.
Yep.
This is the common name for these certificate authority servers. This is the common name, that's fine. Leave it default, click next. And specify the validity period. This is 5 years, click next. This is the certificate log will be these locations, leave it default and click next. And then finally, this is the summary. We click on configure. And click close. Refresh. And actually, I think I have like, I need to assign a proper IP address in here. I forgot last time what I have put, but I'll fix this one. 192.168.15.1. So in our servers, always we should have a static IP address, right?
Yep.
Some reason maybe 127.0.0.1. This is the loopback address, right? Loopback address always pointing to the same servers. I think it will work. Yes, that's fine. So that's normally any server should have a proper IP address. That's why I just put. Now by the time I think our configurations is done. Yes. So we go to tools and then Active Directory certificate authority server. So this is the certificate authority. I'm going to pick up this one. So this one is opening the certificate authority servers, right? This is the name
Yep.
of the certificate authority servers. And it has some tabs, revoked certificate, issued certificate. Now we're going to learn how to use the certificate template and create one of the certificate and how we can assign that certificate. Okay,
Yep.
so right click on certificate template. It has some template, but we're going to configure one template as we need that one. So I'm going to right click on certificate template, click on manage. And after that, there are many different default template. So I'm not going to use any of this. I'm going to use only users template. So I'm going to right click in here, duplicate template. And after that, it has many steps, but I'm mostly looking at general, and this is copy of user. This is any name, this template certificate template name we can put it, but I'm going to leave it here, copy of user.
Yep,
After
that's it.
that, yep, and then we'll go to security. Security means who can manage this certificate. So we click on authenticated users, we give them read permissions, maybe write, maybe enroll, auto enroll. We can provide all these permissions. And administrators, we can give full permissions. Okay,
Yep,
these permissions means these people, they'll be able to read the certificate, check the certificate, enroll the certificate for themselves. Those kind of things they'll be able to do. And click, and after that, one more things we have to do, which is subject name. Click on subject name, like how you want to associate your certificate. So we can associate with email or like a username, but we don't have any email address in our system at the moment, so we untick these two. Only we leave it user principal name and click apply. This is our template configuration. So this is copy of user. I'm going to close this window. Now next step is I'll right click on certificate template, click new, certificate template to issue. I'll click in here, and then after that I'm going to pick up this copy of user, right? This is, I have done the configurations,
yep,
and click OK. In this way I have bring these steps in here. So that's how I have modified one of the template, and I make this template available for use. Now this is my template, but we're going to learn how to assign this template for a particular user. Now if I click on issue certificate, so no one got any certificate. There's no item to show in this view. That's fine because we haven't configured yet. We got the template ready, but we need to assign this one for particular users. Now we go to the search options. We type cert mgr.msc. Oops, it is coming up. So this is a very important part. Any Windows 10 machines, I think from Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 machines or Windows Server 2012, 12R2 and Server 2016, we have this console. This is a certificate manager console. So you can find this one. You can say cert mgr.msc and you can find this one, and I'm just going to double click this one. It will open the certificate local computer certificate manager. So this is my, I'll make it bigger. This is my certificate manager console for the current user. I click on personal. There's many other tab in here, but I'm concentrating at the moment only personal. Click on expand personal, click on certificate, and this is the administrator, but administrator doesn't have any certificate. So I'll right click on this certificate, all task, request new certificate, and then click next, next. So I can find out from here, this is my copy of user, right? This is the
yep,
template I have
yep,
configured. I select this one, click enroll and click finish. See, this administrator got a certificate. And if I go to properties, yeah, this is the certificate informations. It proves your identity to a remote computer, protect email messages, allows data on disk to be encrypted. So this is the purpose we using the certificate, right?
Yeah.
Issued to administrator. So this computer administrator logged in, so administrator got this certificate. It has some from who issued this one, how long it will be valid, those kind of things is over there. Then you have details, what versions and all this stuffs in here. Then certificate path here as well. So click OK. Cool. So that's how we can assign the certificate. Now this is certificate manager console, right? I'm going to close this one. And now I'll go, this is also same thing, close this one. Now I'll go back to my certificate authority. This is my, certificate authority template. I'm going to click on issued certificate. Now look at that. This is the certificate. So we can see who got the certificate. This is the certificate details. So this is the users administrators and this is the certificate. So administrator got the certificate services. So this is the server name, issued certificate, who got the certificate we can see from here. So Active Directory certificate service, its main job is to create certificate, manage certificate, distribute certificate to the users, computers, many other services. And also we can um, install the certificate, distribute the certificate, we can revoke the certificate. Certificate revocations is kind of if your company don't want to use that certificate anymore. For example, a person left the job. During
Yeah.
that time, we can stop this certificate. So that is the in general certificate services can do in our organization, and that's how we configure the certificate authority servers. So for this one, yes, let me go back to our slides. Yeah, so we have looked at how to install the certificate authority services. So certificate authority can provide certificate to servers. It can verify the identity. It can provide the certificate to users, computers, and services. It can manage the certificate revocation. There are two kinds of certificate authority servers we have. One is standalone CAs and another one is enterprise certificate authority servers. So enterprise certificate authority servers, this is normally we using for
Business.
businesses, exactly. And this is for private,
Personal.
personal. And this is mostly for domain environment, and this is mostly non-domain environment. Certificate configuring CRL distribution point. What is CRL? CRL is a certificate revocation list. Once you revoke the certificate, then after that, this certificate you actually, if someone left the job, if someone is not working, those certificate you can revoke. For example, if someone lost their driving license, so that
Yeah.
license will be locked. This is called revoked. In a similar way, Active Directory certificate services, it's actually um, publish the revocation list. That means it has a list of people who actually left the job not using the certificate. So those certificates will be revoked.
Yeah.
CRL is saying that every 7 days this certificate revocation list will be refreshed. And Delta CRL is saying that every 24 hours this certificate will be refreshed. So this is the two reason we have this kind of like CRL and Delta CRL. Another thing we have called online responder. So this is another options. This is certifications or Active Directory certificate will be verified by online tools. This is called online responder. It's actually using a particular protocol. With that, it manage and maintain the communications with all these other servers, computers, and users, and it's check that those certificate is valid or not. So the people who is um, part of this Active Directory uh, certificate services, the people who are actually part of these particular groups, such as domain admin groups, enterprise admin groups, local admin groups. So these people, they have the permission to use this certificate, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
True. So certificate services you can back up, and also you can do the recovery as well. It's very important. Once you have a certificate, you should have a proper backup. You can back up to local hard disk, or you can back up to in network database. Certificate template, which we already work with that. We have looked at how to create a template. So there are many different certificate template available, but we're going to use the certificate template which actually we require. In our case, we actually configured the Active Directory certificate services user template, right?
Yeah.
Cool. What are the certificate templates? So certificate templates, we can format and contents of a certificate, process for creating and submitting a valid certificate request. We can configure security principles that are allowed to read, enroll, or use auto enroll for a certificate that will be based on the template. Permissions required to modify a certificate template. So all these steps we'll be able to do during the certificate template configurations. Managing certificate enrollment. Certificate enrollment involves performing a certificate request, which is then processed by the CA depending on the properties of the certificate template. This is we have looked at how administrator can request a certificate, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Certificate managing certificate validations and revocation. So we revoke a certificate when you don't want it to be treated as valid anymore. So that's what we talked about. So if you don't want to treat a certificate as um, a valid certificate, then you can revoke that one. Configure certificate template permissions. Permissions we talked about. Um, the people who will get this certificate, what they will do with that, they can read, write, full control, enroll, auto enrollment. This sort of permissions will be able to provide. In our case, we have looked at how to provide certificate um, services permissions to administrators and the users as well. So how does auto enrollment work? So we have a certificate template, certificate authority, group policy object, client machines. So they are the all um, kind of like stuffs we have. We have looked at template, we have looked at CA servers, a group policy. This is another way you can provide the certificate automatically in the organization. And client machines, the client machine receives the certificate during the next group policy refresh interval. Certificate that need to be renewed as well. Sometimes certificate can be renewed as well. If it is expired, then via group policy or manually you can renew as well. Certificate revocation, how it works. Certificate is revoked. Certificate revocation is published. This is the CRL, and client computer verifies certificate validity and revocations. Every time if a client computer requests a certificate, that time they validate and see whether it's okay or not.
Yeah.
So pretty much this is the steps you have looked at, and this is like Overview of key archival and recovery. Keys can get lost in many different ways, such as if someone, some user profile is deleted, operating system is reinstalled, disk is corrupted, computer is stolen. Those kind of scenario, your certificate key may have impact, but there are a few different way we can recover that. So data recovery methods include key archival and KRS. Manual key archival and recovery. There's a few different methods we have available. Steps to configure automatic key archival. Configure and issue the key recovery agent certificate template. Designate a person as the key array and enroll for the certificate. Enable key archival on the CA. Modify and enable certificate templates for key archival. Recovering a lost key. So this is like one of the steps, like if private key is lost or corrupted somehow, and if you need to recover, then this is the process we need to follow.
Yeah. If we lost our laptop or something.
Yes, during that time, how to recover that key. So if the private key is lost or corrupted, the certificate manager finds the serial number of the certificate. The certificate manager extracts the number from the certificate authority servers. The certificate manager transfers the number, this is the serial number, from the key recovery agent. The key recovery agent recovers the private key. The user imports the private key. So this is step by step process, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much our certificate of active directory certificate service discussion. So we have looked at the purpose of the certificate services, how we actually can, what is the purpose of certificate services in a particular virtual machines or any servers, how we can configure a certificate, and how to assign certificate to administrators, and the utilizations of these certificate services or the importance of the certificate services. So this is the things we have looked at. So that's pretty much the discussions about the certificate authority servers.